Yo, what's up? It's your boy Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Legends never die, they stay in our hearts. If you want to support us, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you can come down here and hit the join button under the video or in our channel section. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/currency365. And we also have Cash App and also PayPal for supports if you want to sow some seeds. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the video and keep the movement going. Legends. Bye. All right, all right. Welcome back to Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. LUNC community, USTC community. What a 24 hours it has been, right? As everybody's been watching station like a hawk to see if the KYC. I didn't even think it was that big of a deal at first until we realized that people weren't actually going to be doxxed to the world. They were only going to be basically doxing themselves to a third party. And these are people who are going to be that participate on the chain, develop on the chain, and or volunteer to develop on the chain as well. And so this will bring more security and stability to the chain because people want to make sure that the people that are developing on a chain are good people and are not and they're not um they're not hurting, they're not planning things to hurt the chain as we continue to have rumors and then not just rumors but evidence of that people were joining together to destroy the chain, right? And they were getting bigger and bigger and stronger. So somebody said we need to put some KYC on these developers and these people, and so that we know who we're dealing with, at least on the third party. They don't have to tell us, they don't have to reveal themselves to the world, but they have to do it through a third party. Okay, so then we get to the point where the people that everybody was talking about that were you know suspect and kind of trying to take over the chain or trying to destroy the chain or trying to whatever they wanted to do, right? So the takeover crew, right? The takeover squad, right? All of a sudden they're all speaking out about this, saying it's not fair. They're saying this goes against our plans to take over. We can't let this happen. And so they don't start voting no with veto. They're not voting no. They're voting no with veto, right? For KYC. Who votes no with veto with KYC? Right? So it's not a scam proposal. you know, you only use no with veto for scam proposals, right? This wasn't a scam proposal, but yet they all were voting no with veto. And so people are saying, well, they're all showing their true colors right now, right? And so we had a bunch of people who voted no with veto on a KYC proposal, which is not a scam proposal. And so they basically show their hands on who they were, right? And they don't want to be identified. They want to stay hidden and they want to do their agenda, which is to take over the chain and destroy it. Now, not everybody that voted no or no with veto wants to do that, but a lot of them that people have called out and have had and created videos on or tweets about they all did go no with veto, right? So that's pretty interesting. Did they all plan that together? So that was really interesting. So it did pass though. It passed. So it barely passed, but it passed. Okay. So let's see how tight this was, man. Look at that. Wow. Now of course it says not passing here, but that's a mistake. But it did pass by the skin of his teeth, right? So wow, that's like point. I don't even know what that is. I can't even do the math off the top of my head. That's 8, 17. That's a 5, 5, 7, 5, 7, and then over here 30. 34, man, that's crazy. 34. So that's 34, 17. If I can do, I'm doing the math right. 30, or no, 34, 34, 6, 34, 7, 7, 4, 7, 5. Yeah, 34, 7, 5. So 34, 7, if I'm doing the math right on that, I'm 34, 7, 5 for the no's, 34, 9, 4 for the yes. Wow. By point two, something, like that's crazy. So this is the closest, and this is the most votes ever, in my opinion, for a proposal. I think this is the most votes ever for a proposal. So this is crazy. We almost had a we had a 90% plus, we had a 90% plus turnout. So this is probably and of course, because a lot of the people, the bad apples, were voting like crazy to make sure this didn't happen. Okay, now the only problem that we have is all nodes, because all nodes is like, what I do? You're abstain, man. That's fishy, because everybody showed who they were, right? Everybody in this proposal, you had to show if you were on the good side or the bad side. All nodes chose to go and be abstained, right? And of course, 281 billion votes. So it was not just all no's. There was a couple other validators that went abstain. There's no reason to be abstain here. You're either on the good side or you're on the bad side, right? So the bad side, the people that were on the bad side show who they were. The people on the good side showed who they were, right? So all nodes choosing to go to abstain tells us that all nodes is on the bad side and all nodes is on the good side. And if you're bad and good, can you really be trusted? Because one day you can be bad, the next day you can be good, right? And so it's like you're hot and cold, right? So it, yeah. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And people are very disappointed at all notes for not picking a side there. And you got to pick a side here. You're talking about KYC to a third party. You're not doxing yourself, to the world. That is not, that's nothing. That shouldn't be serious at all, right? That should be easy. Either you're for it or you're not, right? And so that's pretty disappointing there on all notes for staying away from that. Something that's very easy to say no or yes. And like I said before, not everybody that voted no is evil, right? Um, they just probably voted no because they don't think it's right for DeFi to do that. But like I said before, you're not doxing. You're just to the world. You're doing KYC to a third party. So, and that brings more trust and transparency, and people can, for the chain here, because people have a lot of evidence that there's some bad people on this chain, and they're working together to try to overtake it. That's reasonable to do this, right? And so I really got to question all notes here, when they don't pick a side on this, especially with Happy Caddy Crypto and so many others, with all the evidence that they have presented, or that, so that it is really weird. So all nodes we need to watch all. I mean, we've been saying this for a long time. Even Lung Dao said we need to Lung Dao, even though they are the enemies. They were saying the same thing in the beginning. You better watch all nodes. You know what I mean? So yeah, okay. So all nodes has spoken. They're good and evil, right? And so they can turn evil whenever they want. They can also be good whenever they want. They've been good on some of these proposals, right? At least they vote. Some of these other people don't vote at all, right? And they finally voted. Interesting that they voted on this one, right? They voted on this one, so they don't have to, they don't have to, reveal themselves to a third party. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, finally you can vote. Oh, look at that. You can vote now. Oh, it's magic, right? It's a miracle. These guys can finally vote. Like, they haven't voted the entire year, right? They haven't voted all last year. Some of these validators didn't even vote. How you a validator? You ain't even voting, right? And then all of a sudden, you got to reveal yourself to a third party. Oh, look, they can vote now. Isn't that interesting? Right. So it's unbelievable. Every validator should be required to vote on every proposal. You're a freaking validator, right? So it's kind of crazy that a validator. Matter of fact, we should have a rule, a law, a rule that if you miss three proposals, you're jailed. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be as a validator on the chain. You shouldn't be missing any proposals, right? And but if you miss three proposals, you just say I'm not voting on anything, and you miss three of them, then you should be jailed. In my opinion, that's just me because it's like if validators aren't participating on a chain, then what are you here for? You're just here to milk the chain, then, right? So if you're a validator on a chain, you would think that these validators would love they love the chain, they love developing on the chain, they love updating the chain, they love talking about the chain, they love being in meetings with the developers about the chain in the future. No, some of these validators are like, I'm going to set up a validator and I'm going to go away. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm just going to milk you guys dry for your staking rewards. I mean, that is awful. you know so and then they don't vote on anything. I mean, it's crazy. So I mean, we got to change that, man. We got to change that for real, because some of these validators are finally voted for the first time in a year. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy that people are staking with validators who haven't voted in over a year until now. And most of the validators that haven't voted in a year till now all voted no. So you can tell that they have no care at all for the price. Now you see this big move here we had. This was because we passed, and then this big dump is the people who have to now do the KYC and they're dumping, right? So we said that we could see a dump here if it passes, because the bad actors are just gonna probably say I'm out, right? So um, who knows, right? So expect anything here. We did get a big pump there when it passed, but now we're getting a dump because it actually failed. So let's see what happens. Let's see if the bad actors unstake or do they stay in. We will see. We will see, right? Do they dump their Luna Classic or and start to unstake, or do they actually stay in and just say, "Oh well, it is what it is," right? So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, volume's up, but we're down. Look, we're down when the markets is pumping. Markets up 3%. Bitcoin's heading towards 49,000. 49,000. You know, 49ers, 49,000. By the Super Bowl. So that will be interesting, right? Somebody on Patreon called that out and said, "Hey, that's interesting. 49,000 Bitcoin during the Super Bowl with the 49ers. That would be interesting, right? Doesn't mean the 49ers are going to win. It's just a coincidence, right? What a coincidence that would be if Bitcoin's at 49,000 for the Super Bowl and the 49ers are in the Super Bowl. That would be a coincidence. That would be planned. That would be so planned. It would be ridiculous. Okay. Also, the stock market should be pumping right now because the Feds are talking about. The Feds say three rate cuts are coming, and most likely it's going to start in May. So now that wasn't Jerome Powell, but that was one of the other Fed guys, right? The little minions that he has running around in the Fed, right? So he was like, three rate cuts are coming, and we could start around May, June, July, right? Or May, June, right? So we since last year we've been talking about the rate cuts will happen after the halving. You're not going to do rate cuts before the halving. It makes no sense. They're going to do rate cuts after the halving. So look out for May, June, and July. We've been talking about that since last summer. So you know what I mean? Okay, so that's what they're aiming for after having. They're looking at doing rate cuts, and they're looking to do three. So the markets are loving it, right? And the markets are going to go completely nuts because of that. So no rate cuts in March though, but we already priced that in. We priced in the war. We priced in the rate no rate cut in March, and then we have a happening in April. So the markets are just ready to completely go to nuts to the upside. So, but Luna Classic is actually down right now because some of the bad apples are probably dumping and selling. That's probably why. USTC is up a little bit here, 1%. It also went up crazy, and then it had a double top, and somebody dumped it right back down. So Okay, so it looks like the winners and losers are fighting it out right now. The good guys and bad guys. All right, so Terra 2.0. Wow, this thing pumped like crazy to 67 and then dumped right back down. So once again, good guys buying, and then the bad guys realizing they lost, dumping it right back down. Right. So okay, so that's what's going on. Volume's up big, man. 34% in volume. Money's coming back into the cryptos and stock market. So well, stock market's already been on fire, but crypto markets are trying to get going as well. 25 million in burns today. Let's go down here and see. We got 77,000 in burns today. So somebody's dumping. Somebody's dumping on exchange, right? Uh, somebody's moving money around. 15.08. Oh, wow, that's not all time highs. All time highs, I think, is like 35, maybe. Let me see. Let's see what all time highs are. Yeah, close to almost, yeah, almost, yeah, 1.4. Almost one. That's not 1.4. That's almost 1.4. I don't know why it says 1.4. The line is 1.4. This is like 1.39 or something. 1.03 maybe. 1.039 maybe. 38. So they just rounded up to 1.4. But yeah, 1 billion no 1 trillion, excuse me, 1,038,000,000,000. I think that's the all-time high, I guess. So we're almost there. Look at this big drop we had here. And then look at the double bottom. So even the, even the stake supply chart gives you a nice double bottom buy signal there for staking, right to back to the upside. Now we had a nice now we have a nice reversal. Now we're back to resistance, and so now we need to shake it off a little bit and then break through, right? So that's really weird. Man, everything can be charted apparently, so that's pretty interesting. Okay, so here is wow, look at that death cross there on the community pool charts, right? So we had a nice little death cross there go in, and now we're trying to come back up and recover here, and that's because Genuine Labs took their profits there, their $16,000 from the LUNC community pool. We can't use the lung community pool at 1% a week to repeg USTC so we all can get wealthy and rich. But we can, just give it out to other people that are testing and doing progress, and then they get the dump and get rewarded. But we can't reward ourselves by significantly reducing USTC for repeg purposes in 2024. I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. So it makes no sense. Stats before we go to validators, 156 million. And then we got 6.05 there, and then Terra Casino and DF Lunk and everybody else. All right. So all the people that all these validators that never vote are gonna go back into never voting again. You know what I mean? So and that's unexcusable, right? There needs to be a proposal that forces validators to. I mean, you're gonna be a validator on a freaking blockchain. You should be voting. Like that don't make no sense. Um, okay, so you can see all the validators that are gaining there. So Lunk Forever continues to just gain. Wow, that's crazy. That's interesting. And you can see all the losers here, and most of them are the people that are enemies of the chain. you know. And look, all those lost 231 because they were abstained, and that's just you can't do that when on a proposal that important. You have to vote yes or no. You have to let people know if you're on the good side or bad side. And a lot of these guys are being dumped because they were on the bad side, right? A lot of you guys are on the bad side. Not all of them, but a lot of them. I think most of them are on 90% of these validators are on the bad or on the bad side, right? And so people are realizing that, and so that's why they're dumping it. I don't see Jesus the Lord on here, so people finally got the message that why are we weakening Jesus the Lord 1 to pump Jesus the Lord 2 when we can just take fresh funds to do that? It makes no sense. We're literally we're literally hurting our own selves to be able to pass any proposal, you know. Um, and look at the signatures there. Luna Punks is in jail. All right, so let's go to the validators and let's go here and see what's going on. All nodes weakened a little bit there, back to 150 billion, and then Orion weakened a little bit there as well. Interstellar Lounge, Interstate, KuCoin, Jesus is Lord, and then you have Stakely, okay. So then you got Happy Caddy, you got Luna Station, then you got TCB running up the top 10. All right. So a lot of changes here. You got Galactic Shift completely shot up there, right, into the top 15. So, all right. All right. Let's see. Everything is everything. All the validators that secure the blockchain. There we go. Now, the Burning All validator did vote yes. Brad voted yes last night. So, for you guys that are wondering if what did Brad vote on, he voted yes. The Burning All validator voted yes last night. Okay. Oh, there's Jesus Lord at 59. So they're still climbing, and everybody else. All right, so hope you guys are doing well. What a 24 hours! It happened. The yes votes won. They all developers will be required KYC to a third party. Now, and so let's see what happens, and let's see the response of the people that were trying to take over the chain. I told you there was people that were trying to take over the chain in the summer of last year. I said by March they're gonna try to take over the chain by March, and then by March we better be ready. We better be ready to respond. We better be ready to protect the chain of Terra, and we better be ready to repeg as well, right? So may God release the second round of the wealth transfer for us so that we can repeg this thing now that we have exposed all the enemies of the chain, right? Or at least most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And so this is going to be interesting going forward. What happens now, right? All right. Peace out. God bless. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm glad I ain't an enemy of the chain. I don't want to be an enemy of the chain. I don't want to be an enemy of nobody. You know what I mean? Oh man, always be on the right side. Always be on the good side, man. Don't be an enemy, man. I know. Sometimes people are like, I want to be the villain. Yeah, it sucks to be a villain. Matter of fact, it's stressful to be the villain. It's so easy to be the hero and the good guy, and it's really it's really stressful to be the villain. Right? It comes with too much. Anyways, peace out. God bless. See you guys next video. The good guys won, at least this time around. Let's see what happens going forward.